What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Flash video. So a bit of a dull episode this week, a bit of a letdown in my opinion. So if you're new to the channel, please do consider leaving a like and a subscribe down below. I do all things CW, DC, and also Marvel as well, so keep it tuned here. But the Flash this week, again, like I said, a bit of a letdown, a bit of a pure filler episode. I didn't really enjoy it all that much. Mainly because of the fact it was all about Aminette Black, and I really haven't liked Katie Sackhoff's performance this season. I feel that her portrayal of a British woman is little more than a terrible, terrible Dick Van Dyke version. The character, or the actor over in Mary Poppins. It really is a cringy British accent, and it's just really, really bad. It's just not something I've really enjoyed. Although I will admit that it is jarring when you hear an English accent amongst American accents, mainly just like Satin Girl over on Supergirl. It's weird hearing her speak when everyone else has American accents, but it may be that. But we need Aminette Black's help because, well, she is the only one with powers that cannot be stopped by DeVoe, and conveniently she is on the run ever since everything went down over at Iron Heights. We've not seen her since the episode where Barry was in the prison break at Iron Heights, so she has been laying low since then. And we've had we've had the takeover of Norvok here being the evil dude that he is. He's taken over her whole regime, and while she's on the run, she's doing some sort of weird gambling scheme thing, and it's just it just doesn't really work in my opinion. She's not a big enough character for us to really care about, and really it's not an interesting storyline, to be honest. The fact that she's on the run and we're supposed to possibly somewhat feel sorry for her, which I'm not really sure I actually care about. They tried to get us to care about her when she actually kidnapped Killer Frost, and she gave her some life lessons, which, yeah, I'm not really sure how that actually went down. I'm not sure if that really made us care, and it is a shame because I really do like Katie Sackhoff. I think she's a fantastic actress. She was great in Battlestar Galactica, but here I think that the writing and maybe her decision to play it as a British air hostess has failed very miserably. But I might be wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments on her performance this season. Have you enjoyed her as Aminette Black? I did really like the Aminette Black character in the comics. I like the fact she had her own sort of crime syndicate, and she led a group to face off against the Flash. And I think that storyline there worked a lot better than her simply just being someone giving all these metahumans over to the Thinker, which I felt kind of devalued her just a bit. And I think maybe having her be double-crossed by the Thinker and her explaining maybe a good reason why she was doing what she was doing, maybe that would actually make us have a bit more of a connection with her. But we did sort of learn more about Killer Frost and the reason why Caitlin actually went over to Aminette Black, and why, if you remember at the start of the season, we had Caitlin working at that bar with Norvok, and she was also working for Aminette Black as well by proxy. So it turns out that she actually went to Aminette Black to get help to try and control the Killer Frost and Caitlin Snow thing, which I find a bit stupid because she was pretty much given the cure by her almost boyfriend, Tom Felton, Julian Albert, which he is very missed this season, very, very missed. But here we just learn that, which I don't know why they do this. They seem to not pick up on these. They ignore these plot threads from previous seasons, which I think was really, really weird. But the fact that we got more kind of insight into Killer Frost was pretty cool, and we see the fact that Caitlin is desperate to actually bring her back. Granted, she is really helpful. Having Killer Frost would have been really helpful against Fallout and also against the Thinker, who I guess the whole freezing and the technology thing would go really, really well. But I do miss Killer Frost. I really do like that idea. I'd love to see Caitlin go over to Legends of Tomorrow and have more focus on her. She could be some sort of Bruce Banner where they bust out Killer Frost when she's needed, but by day she's Caitlin Snow and she's chilling out and trying to help out the rest of the team. I think that would really work, and I love the fact that Legends is some sort of breeding ground for characters who are really good on TV shows, but they're not able to be used that well, because at the end of the day, it's the Flash, it's not really the Caitlin Snow show, not the Caitlin show, so having her over on Legends of Tomorrow would work really well. But I expect her to use the cold gun just a bit more, and maybe she can use that while she's trying to get out Killer Frost. It's some sort of really cool kind of parallel over with Infinity War, which is right there, where we had the Hulk not wanting to come out of his shell, and we did have Bruce Banner have to use the Hulk Buster, which is a thing used to destroy the Hulk, but it's also a similar thing, which is where she's having to use the cold gun as well. But I would like to see her used a bit more. Gutted we didn't get to see a coffee shop girl sequence this episode, especially with the fact that they went back to the coffee shop. However, I think that she is expanding beyond the coffee shop, considering last week she did that delivery thing, that kind of favour delivery style, I guess, thing to Cecile. Now, another thing was Norvok, who has pretty much exposed himself as being a douchebag, and his snake thing coming out of his eye has been destroyed. I always found that really creepy. I didn't like that whole thing. I didn't like that power. It looked really, really weird. It's just kind of really gross and a bit out of place, to be honest, on the show. It didn't really fit in that well. It just didn't sit that well with me, to be honest. But I guess that's almost the end of his story arc. But we have had Aminette Black, who's given the group that weird sort of metal psycho thing, the kind of bomb, I guess bomb, you could say, that's what Cisco called it, that he can use to take on the Thinker and use it to stop those rays that will turn people stupid, which I don't like that. I really think that's a bit weak. Although in the trailer next week, the Thinker does say that people will be curious again and he will be there to enlighten them. So I think he's trying to revert all the programming that people have had, all this capitalism, all this kind of materialisticness. He is trying to get them to be enlightened and be interested in kind of real important things again, and also renounce technology. But as time goes by, we're going to need technology. So I guess he wants the technology to be used, but with better ethics, I guess. At this point, it just seems really, really odd, and his plan is just a tad bit weak there. I guess he wants to do some sort of Thanos thing, I guess, where he wants to kind of rebuild the world in his image and make it a better place for everyone, even if it's going to cause a few problems along the way. But one thing really cool this episode was the fact that we did have Iris. She's back to her journalist roots, and her article was published, and everyone is using their own sort of crowdsource or sort of a spotting social media to try and actually locate the Thinker, especially with the fact that he has gone dark. So the fact that he's actually gone dark is quite curious, and they work out that it's because Marlize has left him. Now, she did leave him she left with a chair. I believe she left with a chair last episode. So he's going to be breaking into Argus next week to try and get some technology that he's going to really need. I expect that chair is going to cause him a lot of trouble, but he doesn't really need it that much to get in and out of the pocket dimensions, because he's got the folded man's powers now. So he's not going to need that or rely on that as much. He's still a threat. It's just the fact that he's got, a broken heart. However, in the finale, we've got a mysterious person who will be going to help the group, which is obviously Marlize, and I expect the mystery girl will be helping as well. But next week, we have got the satellite weapon thing going off, and we're going to see a race against time. I do love those race against time episodes, especially the episode where we have the nuclear bomb going off as well. But let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited? I expect to see Marlize turn on the Thinker, and the Thinker's going to go literally ballistic and go all out now. He's not hindered by those thoughts of his wife or anything like that. He will go balls to the wall, metal as hell. But Diggle is in the episode next week as well, considering the fact that he is working with Argus. If you don't watch Arrow, well, he has left Team Arrow. He's working with Argus, and he is over on the Flash for a bit in that episode to help the group out. But that is it for this video. Please drop a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.